Back now to this historic day happening in Washington, where Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, who is from, of course, right here in South Florida, will be sworn in any moment now as a Supreme Court justice.
She will become the first black woman to serve on the nation's highest court. Judge Jackson will become the court's 104th Associate Justice.
She, of course, replacing retiring Justice Stephen Breyer. D.C. Bureau Chief Ben Kennedy is joining us live from Washington this midday ahead of the ceremony. Ben.
Well, Christy, Denise, it's a major day here in Washington, D.C., and as you were talking about, a judge who grew up in South Florida will be sworn in as the newest Associate Justice of the Supreme Court right here behind me. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson calls this just the honor of a lifetime.
I have dedicated my career to public service.
In that service is taking her to the nation's highest court. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson will be sworn in Thursday at noon as the first black woman on the Supreme Court.
I am humbled and honored.
It comes after the Senate voted in April 53-47.
And this nomination is confirmed.
Confirmed by 3 Republicans who broke ranks to join every Democrat. She then delivered a powerful message of hope and promise on the South Lawn of the White House.
It has taken 232 years and 115 prior appointments for a black woman to be selected to serve on the Supreme Court of the United States. But we've made it.
A journey that began in South Florida, where Jackson grew up. It's there she graduated from Miami Palmetto Senior High, then worked as a federal public defender, U.S. District Judge, and served on the D.C. Court of Appeals, and even clerked for Justice Stephen Breyer, who she will now succeed after 26 years on the bench.
I am daunted by the prospect of having to follow in his footsteps, and I would count myself lucky, indeed, to be able to do so with even the smallest amount of his wisdom, grace, and joy.
And Jackson will be sworn in any minute now, and she'll be joined by her family. Christy, Janice?
And Ben, talk a little bit about how obviously this is a historic moment to see Ketanji Brown Jackson sworn in, but this isn't really going to change the balance of the court. It still leans very heavily conservative. And actually, we're going to interrupt Ben because it looks like that swearing in ceremony is starting right now. Let's listen in.
Before we do so, I would like to recognize Dr. Patrick Jackson, who is here, her husband, and her daughters Talia and Layla. The administration of the oath is required both by the Constitution and by the Judiciary Act, and so we'll be delivering 2 oaths. I'll deliver the constitutional oath, and Justice Breyer will administer the statutory oath. There will be a formal investiture in the fall, but the oaths will allow Judge Jackson to undertake her duties, and she's been anxious to get to them without any further delay. Are you prepared to take the oath?
I am.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Ketanji Brown Jackson, do solemnly swear.
I, Ketanji Brown Jackson, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I'm about to enter.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you very much. And now I'll turn things over to Justice Breyer.
Good. The judicial oath. Will you raise your right hand, please? Thank you. I, Ketanji Brown Jackson.
I, Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will administer justice.
That I will administer justice.
Without respect to persons.
Without respect to persons.
And do equal right.
And do equal right.
To the poor and to the rich.
To the poor and to the rich.
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon me as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States.
as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States.
Under the Constitution
And
laws of the United States.
and laws of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Now, on behalf of all of the members of the court, I am pleased to welcome Justice Jackson to the court and to our common calling.
And there you have it, a historic moment we all witnessed right here. Now, Associate Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson sworn in as the 104th Justice. And not to mention, she's from right here in South Florida.
Yeah, and a special moment there between Ketanji Brown Jackson and Stephen Breyer, of course, the man who she clerked for, giving her the judicial oath. And so that was a kind of a special,
a real
moment
passing of the torch moment we saw there. And of
Absolutely.
course, her husband present, very proud, her two daughters there as well. So we couldn't see the daughters on camera, but her whole family there to witness this very historic
Husband
moment.
not taking his eyes off of his wife. All right.